Hey, it's Simone.
So I'm really not good talking off the cuff like this. However, I felt compelled to make this video because some awful things are happening.
This video will be an unscripted take on how AI is destroying humanity's purpose.
So get this, an AI Slop Channel is making music with my channel name. Isn't that great? And you could say that's what motivated me to make this video. So
I figured I would start this video by discussing what motivated me to become an artist in the first place.
when I was young, I never really felt attached to humanity or living. About the only one I ever really related to was my sister. And when we were kids, we had to take frequent road trips to see our grandparents. And I recall we had these 2 MP3 players, and I would listen to a lot of arrangements and performances of classical music, of Chopin particularly, who I grew fond of. And it was then that I had a moment of true meaning, where I realized that despite him having passed away for many years now, I still could relate to his music and feel what he felt when he wrote it, his sadness, his joy. I don't know if you can relate to this or had a shared experience, but sometimes whenever you approach something extraordinary, that greatness has a chance to cling on to you. And it was moments like that that made me know I wanted to become an artist, a musician. However, my family had high expectations for my sister and I.
They wanted us both to have careers in medicine, and that's what we did.
But at the time, we were both ardent gamers and artists. It was then I picked up several instruments, including violin, cello, and eventually my main instrument, which is piano. I have practiced piano for many years now. I even taught a few students piano lessons. And now in the last year or two, I've entered into the most area of music that I was initially interested in, which was composing. There have been so many composers like Nobou Uematsu, Keiichi Okabe, Daisuke Ishiwatari, to name a few. You can look at my bio because I discuss a lot of the ones that have true impact in the way I compose music. But regardless, this was the area of music that I was most excited about and passionate about to become a part of. And my sister and I are now planning on creating games and different YouTube projects, such as The Death Show. Thank you all so much who support that, seriously. And I was doing a cursory research on YouTube regarding my channel as I was planning on getting a distributor such as like DistroKid or TuneCore. And I've heard awful things about getting distributors by
a great music channel called Venus Theory. Seriously, check out his stuff.
He put out a very good video covering this topic in great detail and how they don't have good detection software against AI music or impersonators, only to find out that there is actually an AI Slop music channel that has my exact name. How gross is that? And I ask, how is this all right? Like, none of us made the decision to open Pandora's box, and yet we all face the consequences of this now. AI is permeating every industry, screwing over all aspects of art, which is the one thing that I feel gives humanity its meaning. I truly don't want to exist in a world where AI strips the meaning and purpose of humanity.
And this pathetic person who is using my name as an AI alias is probably a grown-ass man pretending to be a black female singer.
It's absurd. Like, seriously, how pathetic can you be? All to make what, a few cheap dollars?
I'm not going to bother going through any tech bros defense of AI use and stuff.
Because it's indefensible, regardless of the argument. It's just another corporate way to screw us all further. And it's really funny because, as I mentioned early in the video, not having a true connection to humanity and only finding that purpose through music and art, ironically, this filth brings me closer to humanity because I actually value the human touch and the human effort more than I ever did. Because now, whenever people can, at the push of a button, let's say make a full symphony movement, versus someone who went to school and trained and mastered these instruments, mastered orchestration, mastered all these elements into learning how to work with an orchestra to make the arranged piece, I now appreciate it so much more. And you can do this in any field. And there are so many foolish people, trust me, because I've met some in real life who will even say, well, you know, medical careers and all of this, they'll always be protected. And this only affects the arts, which again, I argue the arts are the reason we exist and have purpose. But what these imbeciles don't realize is that pretty soon it will be able to do everyone's job. You think, let's say, for example, you became a heart surgeon, that your job will be protected? They already have Da Vinci robots doing some general surgical procedures. A sad truism now is in regards to, let's say, YouTube, artists in general, musicians, any art field really. It is harder than ever to do any of these fields because not only are you competing with each other and other talented individuals, you are also competing with all this filthy AI slop that is permeating in everything, like this disgusting channel I'm showing you right now. Despite the fact that I'm a pragmatist with nihilistic tendencies, I'm going to try my best to end this video with a glimmer of hope. I often wonder to myself, if Chopin were alive today, would he still have dedicated his life to piano and to music? I believe the answer to that would be yes. And despite all these issues with fleeting inspiration, not having enough time or resources, I choose not to be discouraged. I will continue to make music and create projects with my incredibly talented sister, Charlone. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is foolish. But also, maybe I'm a lion.